Hey, you really piss me off. Do you know that? Just what in the world do you think you're doing trying to marry my brother, you cow? You really need to learn your place and back off of him, got it?
I'm sorry, what? What is all of this about?
I heard the news from my mom. She told me that you and my brother were going to be getting married. Well, I'm not going to let him end up with a fatty like you. I know that you only care about yourself and you just want to use my brother. I won't let you get away with this.
I really have no idea what you're talking about at all, but we've already legally filed our marriage. Of course we're going to have a wedding. I don't get what the problem is.
I know that, but obviously it's the wedding that everyone is going to remember. And I am not going to let you get away with having that wedding.
You mean that you're going to try and stop your brother and I from getting married?
That's right. You two might be married on paper, but it's the wedding where you say your vows in front of everyone. And I am going to ruin that and spoil your marriage from then on. No, that's going to drive a wedge between you and finally break you two up. So don't think that I'm going to let you get away with what you're trying to pull here.
Well, I appreciate how upfront you're being to me with all of this. I'm afraid that won't do. And why would you even want to do this? As far as I know, your mom is really looking forward to us getting married.
Well, I'm not looking forward to it one bit. So there. And I know that if I can convince enough people to see things my way, that I can ruin your wedding like that.
Renee, I really think that you're being unreasonable here. I mean, come on.
No. The only unreasonable one around here is you. You really think that anyone is going to want to see someone like you get married? No one is even going to go to your stupid wedding. I can guarantee you that. There isn't anyone who will want to take the time to see you.
Renee, please. Can't we just try and talk this out like adults? I mean, don't you think all the name-calling and ranting is just a little bit childish?
You think I care at all about what you like? I'll call you names I want to call you. Fat, fatty, fat pig. A person like you can't get married because only pretty people are allowed to get married. Which means that, of course, my brother in his tux will be fine. But he should be standing at the altar waiting for some fat cow like you to walk down the aisle. That will just be a waste of everyone's time and a huge waste of money.
I really don't understand what is making you act this way. I mean, I don't think that anyone else feels this way except you.
I am going to stop this from happening so that I don't have to suffer through the shame of being your sister-in-law. Ugh. Your wedding is going to blow up in your face. Don't think that just because you've gotten the legal bit out of the way that you're going to end up with my brother.
Brad. Hey there, Trish. I was just thinking about where we should do our wedding, and I really do like Green Acres as the location. What do you think? I feel like of all the places that we went to check out, it was the one with the best atmosphere and would just make for a really pretty scenery.
Wait, what? You really want to do Green Acres? But just earlier you were talking about doing a totally different venue, right? I mean, we've already paid the money to ask that other place to hold our dates for us, remember?
I know, but I was reviewing all of our options, and I really do think that Green Acres is going to be the place to do it. In fact, I had a friend tell me that Green Acres was probably the best spot we could find. And then, looking it over again, I thought they really had a point. Well, I can seriously see us getting married there.
Well, I guess I'm just surprised that you changed your mind about this so quickly is all. But I guess I'm not too strongly attached to either place.
Awesome. Perfect. Then Green Acres it is. I've actually already called ahead and signed a contract with Green Acres, so we're all good. Can you believe that we're going to be getting married in just 2 more months? This is crazy. Oh, would you mind calling the other place and canceling for us?
Hold on a second. Do you mean to tell me that you already signed with Green Acres to have our wedding there? And when did we say we're going to be getting married in 2 months? I thought we were still figuring out the dates.
Well, if we don't get married on the day that I arranged for, then The reservation just wouldn't work out.
Okay, but you shouldn't have just gone out and done that by yourself. I mean, we're going to be getting married. We should be choosing these things together.
No, it's fine. You have nothing to worry about at all. Besides, we still have 2 months and plenty of time to figure things out. And it's not like people are going to want to miss our wedding, so it's fine whatever day we choose to do it.
That's not the point that I'm trying to get at here, Brad. I just wish that you would have talked to me a bit more before doing this.
Well, it's already done now, so I don't really see the point of throwing a fit like this. Oh, just a heads up, we're going to be getting married in the morning. So we're not going to have any kind of reception either. And we're going to be getting married in a chapel, and then maybe we'll just go out somewhere and invite friends out. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be getting there until the very last minute, so you'll have to get there early and set all this up. Sound good?
Now hold on for just 1 second. I thought we agreed that we didn't want to do this in a chapel. Not only that, but I thought that we wanted to have a big reception dinner. And just what do you mean you're going to be late? Late to the wedding? Late to the after party? What is going on here? Why am I having to do any of this by myself when we should be doing all of this together as husband and wife?
Right, well, I would be there to help with all of that, but... Well, the thing is that I just have some errands that I'll have to run that day, and I can't do them any other day.
You're going to be running errands on our wedding day. Are you serious? If that's the case, let's get married on another day. It sounds like you're going to be too busy with your errands to help me out. So I think we should just reschedule the whole thing.
Oh, no, we can't do that. I already set everything up. It has to be on that day. It has to be in the morning, just like I arranged it.
Well, can you at least give me a good reason for why it has to go exactly that way when we agreed on something completely different?
Look, I really don't have the time to get into all of this with you right now, but it just has to be that way, okay? Besides, I've already signed the contract and everything. So if we tried to change things around now, it would cost a fee. And that would just make more trouble for everyone. Don't worry, I'm sure you can handle everything.
I really can't believe the nerve of you. I tried to warn you. Told you that you'd regret this, and you're still getting married? You really have some serious nerve, do you know that? You should have listened to me when you had the chance, Trish.
You know, Trish, I actually really can't take the blame on this one. I actually did try to, at the very least, put off the wedding, but it was actually Brad who arranged for all of this today. In fact, by the time he told me about it, he had already signed the contracts with the venue and everything, so there was nothing I could do.
Wait, what? You mean that it was my brother who picked this place out?
Exactly. But since he did it, hopefully you at least know that we're serious about getting married. I hope that you can enjoy the event at the very least.
Don't you think that you've gotten away with this? You really think that I'm just going to believe that my brother put all of this together? I just know that you probably forced him to do this, didn't you?
You really think that I forced him to have it so that we'd be getting married here today?
Just admit it! But you know what? There's still time for you to listen to what I have to say. You can still go home.
You really think that I'm going to leave my own wedding? I really don't think you know how weddings work.
Oh, don't you worry about that. We don't need you here at the wedding either. You see, I've already found Brad a new wife. So just leave already. I found a girl much more pretty than you. She'll make a much better wife for Brad than you ever would. So I'll let the wedding happen. Just not with you as the bride.
Oh, come on. You have got to be kidding me. You're really going to try and switch out the bride at the last second?
That's right. I told you that I wasn't going to let my brother end up with a nasty old cow like you. I tried to warn you, but you just wouldn't listen. But I'll have you know that I put a lot of planning into today. For hours and hours I thought about the best way that I'd be able to ruin your wedding. And then I finally figured it out. So I went and found a new wife for Brad to marry.
Wow, yeah, I can tell you really must have put a lot of thought into this. It's foolproof. Although, I have to say, I knew that you didn't approve of Brad and I getting married. But I never imagined you'd try something like this.
Well, that's what you get for underestimating me. I told you that I wasn't going to let a fatty like you marry my brother. And now I can give my brother the best wedding present of all. A much better wife than the one that he would have married. And trust me, I took a long, long time picking up the perfect woman for Brad to end up with. I just know that he's going to like her 1,000 times better than you.
You have got to be kidding me. I really can't believe that you would do this. What's the matter with you?
Oh, don't be sad just because I've outsmarted you. The truth is that you never stood a chance to begin with. But I just know that Brad is going to be so happy. He'll be overjoyed when he finally sees who it is that I've chosen to be his new wife. Not to mention that I'm getting 2 birds with 1 stone.
Wow. Well, I guess I'll give you an A+ for effort, but this is just stupid. I mean, do you really think that something like this could ever work? That anyone would go along with this?
What are you talking about? What part of this is crazy, huh? Do you have any idea how hard I worked picking up the perfect wife for Brad? I used his picture to create a dating profile for him and talked to dozens of women looking for the perfect match. Mwah! Was very, very strict with who I swiped on, too.
Oh, hold on a second. You're telling me that you found this person who is going to replace me as Brad's wife in a dating app?
Of course I did! There's all kinds of people on there, and I knew that with enough time, I'd find the right person. And I guess I shouldn't have expected anything less for a profile with his face on it. He got all kinds of matches. There were actually so many women who I couldn't even talk to. But finally, I found one who stood out. She was beautiful and went to a good school. I just know that Brad is going to want to marry her right away.
Yeah, I really don't know if that is how this is all going to go down.
Ha! That's what a loser like you would say. But you're just jealous because you realize that I've come up with the perfect plan and that nothing is going to stop me now. So why don't you just give up on this whole thing and go home already, huh? My brother doesn't need you around anymore. Besides, I called ahead to this venue and already told him that there would be a change to the bride's name.
I'm sorry, you what? Did you really do that?
Oh, that's right. I got up first thing in the morning to call them and tell them that there had been a mistake in the preparations. So it was never your wedding to begin with. Don't you get it? I've already won. Now just turn around and go home because Brad is marrying someone else.
Okay, then, fine. In fact, you know that I thank you for doing this. If this is what it's going to take for me to be able to get out of this wedding, then, well, it's unorthodox, but I'll take it.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? You're not supposed to be thanking me for kicking you out of your own wedding.
I'm sure that you thought I'd be breaking down into tears and crying, begging you not to do this. But the fact of the matter is that even before we were going to have this wedding, I was already thinking of leaving Brad. I just wasn't sure how I was going to be able to get out of doing this wedding. But now you've given me the perfect excuse.
No, wait. This doesn't make any sense at all. Why in the world would you want to try and leave my brother? I mean, he's perfect. He's the one that's way too good for you. Did you hit your head or something like that? You should be crushed. Devastated right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what you did want to happen when I found out about this plan of yours. But the fact of the matter is that for how perfect your brother pretends to be, it's all just an act. In fact, I bet you didn't know that your brother was already trying to marry 2 women in one day. The whole reason that we're having ours in the morning is so that he can run off and get married again this evening. I'd never want anything to do with that piece of trash again.
What are you talking about? My brother isn't going to be married twice in one day. Pfft, don't be ridiculous. What are you even talking about?
If you want to find out about this, you should go and ask Brad yourself. I'm going to be going home just like you told me. But once again, thank you so much for getting me out of this.
I don't get it. How did you know? How did you know that I was going to be having a second wedding in the afternoon? I hadn't told anyone that, you know. There's no way that you should know this was going to happen.
I guess you just underestimate the power of women's intuition. I mean, really. Did you think that after all the last-minute decisions about our wedding date and venue that I wouldn't guess anything? You even said that you were going to be late to whatever kind of gathering we were supposed to be having afterwards. Well, after that, I waited until you were asleep one night and I went through your phone.
Hold on a second. What? Why in the world would you do that?
To find exactly what I was looking for. All of the proof that you were cheating on me. You met some girl on an app and she didn't care if she was going to be your second wife. You told me that a friend had told you that Green Acres would be the perfect place for our wedding, but it was this other woman's suggestion.
Wait, no. You don't understand. There's been some kind of mistake here.
There's no mistake at all, and you know it. The moment I figured out that you were cheating on me, I knew I wanted a divorce. And to think that we had just gotten ourselves legally married. Our parents and friends were looking forward to celebrating with us. I really wasn't sure about how I was going to get out of this until your sister found a replacement for me.
Wait, hold on. You know that you're the woman that I love the most, right? If I'm going to lose you, then I don't want a second marriage. This woman said that if we didn't get married, that she would tell you about our affair. You see? She was blackmailing me into this second marriage.
Don't you dare and try to pretend to be a victim in this. You're a cheater and a liar, and that's it. And now you're getting what you deserve.
Oh, please don't say those kind of things. Look, you know we can still get through this.
I was putting off our divorce hoping that something would happen to change my mind. But now I just know that I do want a divorce. And you better believe that I'm going to be suing you for the affair that you've had behind my back.
Wait, hold on. You can't be serious about this, right? I mean, you're really going to want to get a divorce? But we're going to be getting married soon.
Oh, I won't be getting married to you. In fact, it seems like you have two choices now. You can either marry this woman in the afternoon or take the woman that your sister brought to replace me. At this point, though, I'm just glad to know that I'm not one of your choices. But anyways, it seems to me like you've got some big decisions to make.
Trish, you have to help me. Please get back here right now. My brother is in serious trouble. The other woman that Brad was seeing and the woman that I chose to replace you are fighting right now. Oh, it's getting really bad. They're kicking and screaming and tearing each other's dresses to shreds. Ooh, it's horrible.
Wow. Well, that sounds like quite the scene. I'm almost sad to miss it.
But that's not all. It turns out that the woman that I found was actually an ex-girlfriend of Renee. And apparently Brad was still choosing who he wanted to marry.
And then the woman that he had been cheating on me with just showed up to fight this other woman?
That's right. I guess neither one of them want to give up on my brother, and so now they're just tearing each other apart. But now my brother is saying that he wants to get back together with you. He says he wants to give you one more chance, so please come back.
Wow. Well, all of that sounds like a hot mess, but also one that I have no real stake in.
But you have to come back. You're married to Brad. I know he said you're going to try and leave him, but you're still his wife.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that at all. But I am going to follow through on that divorce. And then I'm going to sue your brother and the woman he was cheating with. Then I'm going to forget all about Brad and this woman, and especially about you.
You can't do that! You have to come back here and put a stop to all of this! Things are bad here. My parents are wondering where you are.
Well, then it sounds to me like you have some explaining to do, don't you? But like I said, this isn't my problem anymore. And I refuse to intervene. Good luck with all that. Or not. I don't really care either way. After that, I started getting desperate texts from Brad for me to help him, but I ignored them all. Finally, I just decided to block him. Instead, I hired a lawyer to handle the divorce and make sure that Brad and his mistress paid for their affair. Having humiliated himself in front of his friends and family with the fiasco at the wedding, Brad had no one to turn to for help. He had no choice but to take out a loan to pay what he owed me. Not only that, but also had to pay the full price for both weddings. The last thing I heard about Brad was that in order to raise the money that he needed to clear his debt, he had gone to work on a fishing boat in Alaska, and no one has heard from him since. His parents reached out to me and apologized profusely for their children's behavior. They told me that they kicked Renee out and told her to find her own way in life. Obviously, that isn't how I would have liked my marriage to go at all. But I'm just glad that I was able to get out when I did and avoid getting in harm's way. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Juan, are you there? Do you have a minute to talk to me about something really quick? I just heard that you were fighting with one of our neighbors. Do you have anything to say about that?
Someone told you that I was fighting with a neighbor? Where'd you hear that from? Who told you that?
It was actually Julia from up the street who told me. She's the lady with those 2 little Shiba dogs, you know the ones. She told me that you and her husband were fighting about something outside her house earlier this weekend.
Oh, right, you're talking about her husband, Frank. Yeah, we had a little chat earlier today, but it wasn't anything more serious than that.
Oh, really? Because Julia seemed to be pretty upset over the whole matter. She called to apologize because she was sure that her husband must have done something to make you act that way. But knowing you, I worry that you might have been out there looking for trouble. So, I just wanted to know what this fight was about and if you started it.
Okay, well, it's not like I hit him or anything. I just gave him a little kick is all.
Wait a second. You kicked Frank. Juan, how could you do that? That's awful!
I didn't do it on purpose, or at least I didn't mean to do it that hard is all.
That doesn't make it any better at all, Juan! Why are you always so quick to get into fights with people? You really need to learn how to have more patience and just let things go.
But I wasn't the one who started it, okay? I was taking a walk, alright? And Frank was watering his plants, and then he splashed water on me.
You kicked a neighbor because he got you a little wet while he was out watering his plants? Are you kidding me?
I didn't kick him that hard, I already told you. I was just aiming to kick him back away from me so he would back up.
Did you really think that he was purposefully trying to spray you with water while he was out there watering his plants? And why do you think that you needed to elevate that situation to violence if that really was all that happened? You need to go to their house and apologize. Do you understand me?
But why should I have to do that, okay? I just got these clothes and he got them wet. These aren't just any clothes either. I picked them up from a really expensive store, so they're fragile. You have no idea how upset I got when he got water on them. You weren't there.
No, I know just how upset you got because I've seen you act this way before. Now, Julia and I are friends, and we don't want this bad blood between our families. So if you're really going to refuse to apologize, then can you at least just avoid interacting with Frank at all from now on?
Well, I wish that I could have just ignored him, but it's clear that he has it out for me. He's always acting like he's better than me just because he makes a bit more money and his dogs are so noisy every single day. I just don't know how I'm supposed to avoid him when he's always rubbing his life in my face.
I don't think his dogs are annoying at all. They're very well behaved, and Julia and Frank are both wonderful people. I've talked with Frank several times, and he seems like a very laid-back person who would never try and start a fight with someone.
Oh, okay, so I guess you're just gonna take their side over mine and say that I'm wrong, huh? Why do you never believe me when it comes to this stuff?
How can I believe you when it comes to this kind of stuff, Juan? I've seen how you act, and 9 times out of 10, you're the one that starts trouble. I've already gone and apologized to Julia, but I would really appreciate it if you went over there and said you were sorry.
That's no fair, though. I shouldn't have to apologize for anything because I didn't do anything wrong. Frank started it, not me, okay? So why should I have to say that I'm sorry?
Because you kicked him, Juan! Even if he did start it, you took it up to another level, and you should own up to that. You do realize that we're lucky to not be getting sued by the 2 of them, right? And if you want to make sure that that doesn't happen, then you would do well to go and say that you're sorry.
No, I'm not going to do that, Teresa.
Why are you being such a child about this? It really shouldn't be this difficult. But if you really want to act this way, then if you don't apologize, I'll throw away all your video games. What do you think about that?
Whoa, what? Is that some kind of joke or something? You can't just do that, that's taking things way too far.
Is it? I'm pretty sure that I've been the one that's bought every single one of those games for you, Juan. So since I bought them, I don't see why I can't do whatever I like with them. Besides, maybe throwing them all away would finally convince you to get off your butt and go look for a job.
Hey now, this isn't fair. My video games and my employment status have nothing to do with each other. Besides, I do have a job. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a full-time job, Juan. The kind that you used to have. Now you just work part-time and spend the rest of the day glued to the TV playing your games. When are you going to grow up and work like an adult?
Alright, geez. If you're really gonna be like this, then I guess that I can go and apologize. I'll make sure and get that done soon, okay?
Please do. I really don't want you to wait too long to do this. I really do like Julia, and I don't want this to spoil things between us. You know that there aren't many neighbors left who get along with us, don't you?
What are you talking about? There's plenty of people who live around us. You can always just make friends with one of them.
Do you really think that? I hope you don't, because that tells me just how delusional you really are. You need to realize all the trouble that you've been causing, not just for me, but everyone around us. Got it?
Right, I understand.
Juan, what in the world is the matter with you? When are you going to finally learn your lesson and settle down?
What are you talking about? I didn't even do anything. You can't just start a conversation with me like that.
I mean, you went out and get in another fight with someone else! Again! I hope you know that I just can't let you off the hook for this one, Juan.
But it wasn't my fault. They started it, I swear. If they didn't want to get hurt, then they shouldn't have been messing around with me in the first place.
Is that really all that you're able to say for yourself at times like these? Because whenever this kind of stuff happens, it's always you who's starting it.
But it really wasn't my fault at all, I swear. And if he didn't want to get hurt, then he's the one who should have known better.
Why do you keep calling this person he when it was your friend Charles?
I'm not saying that jerk's name anymore because him and I are not friends.
But why did you get into a fight with him in the first place? I want to know what happened between you two. Right now.
So him and I were out the other night to get drinks, and then he just started talking bad about me all of a sudden, like totally out of nowhere. So then I got mad and I tried to grab his collar to tell him to shut his mouth.
Grabbing his collar still doesn't explain how he got hurt the way that he did.
Well, I was trying to grab his collar, but I wasn't looking where my hands were going, and I ended up shoving him off the bar stool. So, do you get it now? None of this is my fault in the slightest. Any way you look at it, he was the one who started running his mouth about things that he shouldn't have, and then I was just acting the way that any self-respecting man would.
And just what was Charles saying to you that got you so upset?
He was making fun of me because my mom raised me. Can you believe that someone would say something like that to someone else? I knew right then and there that if I didn't put him in his place, then I would never be able to respect myself.
But it was your mom who raised you, Juan.
Yeah, but he was making fun of me for it. There was no way I could just sit back and be quiet after being told something like that. He said it made me a loser, that's why I did what I did.
But do you know that he broke his ankle because you shoved him out of his seat, right? Even if you didn't mean to do it, you are still the cause of the injury, and that's just a fact. He would be well within his right to go to the police, report what happened, and have you arrested. You realize that, right?
And just why would the police even bother doing that after they hear the full story of what happened? They would clearly see that it was a matter of self-defense, okay? I was only defending my honor against a rude jerk like him.
I really don't think they would see it that way. No matter what was said, you were the one that resorted to violence. Any excuse you gave after that would just come off as you justifying what you did to him. You're still at fault for making the first move.
So you're saying that you want me to be arrested then, huh? You think that you'd be better off if I was in jail? I can't believe that I'm having this kind of talk with my own wife. Why does nobody ever take my side? You're all really just jerks who are up against me.
No, Juan, I don't want you to go to jail. In fact, the only reason that I know that you're not going to end up there is because I talked to Charles and convinced him to not press any charges. But in exchange for that, we have to pay the hospital bills for his broken ankle. So, you're welcome for that.
So, how much did the hospital end up costing him then?
It was a few $100s, actually. But why do I feel like I'm always paying your way out of trouble? You have no idea how exhausting it is dealing with you sometimes.
Right, but if everything is settled, then I don't really see a point in talking about this any longer. It sounds to me like all's well that ends well.
We are not through talking about this, Juan. You need to go and apologize to Charles. Do you understand me?
I'm not gonna say a word to that jerk ever again.
Why not, Juan? Why are you making this so difficult? You could save yourself so much trouble if you just learned to say that you were sorry. There is a lot of weight behind a well-worded apology. I can promise you that.
I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't see any reason why I have to be apologizing for anything.
Oh, just give me a break already! You are always the first one to elevate some spat into a physical confrontation. You need to start taking responsibility for your own actions because I am tired of covering for you all the time. This is going to be the last time that I bail you out.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I'm moving out. I can't deal with you right now, Juan.
Wait, Theresa, you can't leave me.
Yes, I can. Do not fight me on this. I just don't want to be around you for a while.
But you'll come back, won't you? I mean, you're not gonna be away for very long, right?
Actually, right now I'm thinking very hard about whether or not I want a divorce. So just please, don't push this anymore and give me some space to think.
Theresa, you can't be serious about that. How could you do something so cruel?
You might think it's cruel, but it's the only thing I can think to do for myself right now. Unlike you, I'm not going to lash out. But I am asking for enough space so that I can think about things.
Please, wait, you can't leave me! I need you, Theresa, don't do this to me!
Well, I don't want to be babying you all the time anymore. And if we do get a divorce, know that you would have to move out and find a new place to live, okay? Because I'm the one that pays the rent and the bills. I've paid for basically everything in our house.
So you would take everything if we got a divorce? The car, my games, even my computer?
That's right. I have a more than fair claim to all of it, so you better think twice about how you act from now on. Got it? I've given you way too many chances, and you've wasted them all.
But I never even knew that you would get upset enough to leave me. Please, you have to rethink this. Don't do this to me. You're not thinking straight right now, okay? You're just upset. You're just overreacting when you gotta be thinking this out more.
I already told you that I'm only asking for time to be able to think this out. And I am not going to be lectured about acting without thinking from you, Juan. I have talked about this problem of yours with you over and over again, and you just refuse to listen to me. I told you to stop starting fights. Be more patient. Think more clearly. And you do none of it.
But that isn't fair! How can you say this is all my fault? You always put the blame on me and never on anyone else.
That's because you never look to blame yourself and always put the blame on others first. You need to grow up and realize that it's possible for multiple people to be at fault.
It's not true, okay? The world is black and white. People who say otherwise are just trying to make excuses for themselves.
Is that meant to be ironic? Because all you ever do is make up excuses for why you're right and the other person is wrong.
You can't do this to me. I was just defending my honor. Surely I have a right to do that. Why are you acting like I'm the crazy one or like an idiot for doing that?
Because if your first thought of how to defend your honor is through violence, then you really are an idiot. You need to think your actions through more and not just let your fist do the thinking for you. My entire marriage to you, I felt like more the mother of an unruly child than I have anyone's wife.
You can't do this to me, Theresa! You come back home right now! I'm gonna teach you a lesson about putting me down like this!
So, now you're even threatening me. Are you serious? That's it. That was the last straw. I am never, ever going back to that house with you.
But where are you gonna go? Are you gonna go and live with your parents or something?
Why on earth do you think that you deserve to know where I'll be? I never want to see you again, so I'm not telling you anything. Can you please stop blowing up my phone, Juan? This is the 20th call you've given me in the span of a few days. I already told you that I'm going to go back home.
No, it's not about that. This is an emergency. Something really bad has happened.
What is it, Juan? What trouble have you gotten yourself into now? I already told you that I'm not going to be bailing you out of anything, remember?
It isn't that, Theresa. It's my mom. She's passed away.
You're kidding me. Your mom is dead?
It's true. She had some kind of heart attack or something and then just collapsed, and then she just never woke up. I don't even know what else to say right now. I just feel so numb now.
Wow. I see. Well, you have my condolences then.
We're gonna have the funeral tomorrow as well. I know that we're still fighting, but I would really appreciate it if you could be there.
Right, of course I'll go. Your mom was a very kind lady and we got along very well. I'd like to be there to say my final goodbye to her.
Thank you, Theresa. I know that I don't have any right asking you to come, but it really would mean a lot.
Well, I'm not doing it for you, Juan. I'm doing it because I liked your mom and I want to pay my respects.
Right, of course, but also since we're still not divorced, you are still her daughter-in-law, and you'd be coming in that capacity, right?
I suppose so. Of course, your mom has nothing to do at all with what's going on between us. But that reminds me, did your parents, or I suppose just your dad, know? Does he know that we're not living together anymore?
No, he doesn't know that yet. I wasn't gonna mention it to him, but then this happened, and I just didn't have the heart to say anything about it.
Right, well, that makes sense, I guess.
Thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Right, and where is the funeral going to be at?
I'll send you all the details in a little bit, but it's gonna start around noon, so please don't be late.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
Theresa, where are you? What the heck are you doing up until right now, huh? It's already 1! I told you the funeral was gonna be starting at noon!
Sorry, what's got you so upset?
I'm talking about Mom's funeral, don't act dumb. My dad is furious with me right now. Are you trying to humiliate me on one of the worst days of my life? I told you yesterday to be here today for my mom.
Oh, right. Your mom. Yeah, I'm with her right now, actually.
What do you mean you're with my mom right now?
I mean that I'm sitting with her as we speak. She wasn't aware that her funeral was today, by the way. And I'm not sure how your dad can be mad at you if he's here with us too.
She happened to call you in between yesterday and now?
Yeah, that's right. I told her that I thought she was dead and explained what had happened. Then she invited me over to her place to talk things out in person. She told me about how you said you were going to meet with me today. But she thought it was odd that wherever it was we were meeting that you needed to pack some rope and a baseball bat with you. Don't tell me that you were going to use those on me. Were you?
What? No, I mean, I wasn't really gonna hurt you or anything like that. I just wanted to scare you a little.
And just why would you want to go and do something like that?
Because you were gonna leave me, and I couldn't let you do that, okay? I need you in my life, and I just wanted you to stay with me.
So you were going to scare me into not divorcing you? And you were going to trick me into meeting you by using your mom's death as an excuse?
It was just gonna be a little prank, I swear. You gotta believe me.
No, I literally don't have to do that at all. And your parents have been apologizing profusely to me since I got here. Your mom keeps saying how ashamed she is of you. Anyways, I want you to pack your bags and move out, right away. I've already hired a moving company to move my things to a new home. You always took things way too far with other people, and now you were about to do the same with me. Thank goodness your mom called when she did, or I don't know what might have happened to me. After that, I told Juan's dad where he told me to meet him, and he went to go and talk with his son. I'm not exactly sure what happened between the two of them, but the next thing I heard, Juan was in the hospital after having seemingly been beaten up. Since moving away, I feel like I've gotten control of my life back, and things have been much better for me. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.